What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail and behind me, we got the Cateye in the shop tonight, ready to tackle a much needed project on this thing. So if you are new to the channel, this is my 2005 Chevy Silverado 1500 and it has 249,000 miles on it now. And I used to pull a trailer every day for work with it. It's been overloaded way too many times. The hitch has been pulled down and bent the frame. I think the axle's even bent. I don't know. I've overloaded the thing a ton. And I pull trucks home all the time now, it seems like. It's a reoccurring thing. So yes, it's no secret. I probably do need a 3/4 ton truck, but this has done the job just fine until now. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is actually changing out my leaf springs, the whole leaf pack on here. And we're adding a little bit of spice to it. That's why they're not here. The front end, when I rebuilt it, is all, you can't even tell, but it's all powder coated illusion cherry. So the leaf springs, I always told myself whenever I needed to do it, I would do it that way and actually get them powder coated. So those are actually already disassembled and at the powder coater. They should be done pretty soon. And then that will match diff covers, also illusion cherry. I just never got around to doing those. The reason that we're changing leaf springs finally, when I finally had to do it, is let me get the flash on or get a flashlight and I'll show you underneath here what finally happened. So I was well aware that the springs are shaped like a W now. They go up higher in the middle. They're completely shot. I swear the truck gets lower in the rear every year and I put a taller block in it. It used to have a 3-inch block in the rear and now it has a 5 and I don't think it's any taller. But after winter I was spraying all salt off of it trying to get it clean and I looked under here and this one finally cracked. That's the mainspring. I think the weight of the truck is holding it on there. You can see how shot these things are. But yeah, so finally realized it's time to do that. So like I said, the springs are already at the powder coater now. I just saved, I didn't record anything. I disassembled them, took them over to him so he could get started on those because I really need my truck back. This is the main one I use for towing, so I need that back ASAP. But I did not just get factory 1500 replacement springs. I didn't get 2500 either. You can put 2500 leaf springs right in these trucks, no problem. Instead I got I think they're Dorman replacements, but they're the 1500, not a 1500 HD, but they're 1500 heavy duty. It's just an option when you get new springs. And it adds one more spring and actually raises, from what I've found, people are saying it raises the truck about 2 inches just because of that. So I'll have a little more strength back there because right now you put anything, like if I put that floor jack in the back of this truck, it's gonna squat. It's really bad. These springs are totally shot. So that should help with that because I will be towing more trucks home in the future with this and a heavy boat and stuff like that. So to combat that and not have the truck raked out in the back, right now I said we have a 5-inch lift block. Well, I kept the 3-inch. So we're gonna take the 3-inch that's on the shelf, take that to the powder coater, and then I got to get under there and I got to get the bottom plate on the axle. I got to get that off tonight. Basically, right now, I'm just going to try to get whatever we can apart because I need that leaf spring plate off. Get that to the powder coater, and then, yeah, go from there. Well, before we start busting everything loose, I think I want to go ahead and get a measurement to the fender flare and the ground, just so I really like how the truck sits right now. It's about 1 inch higher in the front. It doesn't look squatted. It just looks, I like how it looks like that. So, I want to make sure it's roughly the same. If I have to buy a bigger block, I will. If I have to buy a smaller block, I will. I just want it to stay like this. And also, I don't think I mentioned, the reason I finally looked under there when I was cleaning it off is because when I was pulling home that K10 I got a couple videos ago, this thing was all over the road. I pulled home a K20 straight as an arrow. K10, for some reason, I could not keep the truck straight. And then I realized it was totally dog walking down the road because of how bad the spring was broke. The rear end was like crooked, like crab walking. So luckily I looked because that sound was the leaf spring smacking the bottom of the truck. But enough of that. Hopefully I just remember to look back at the video. So top of the bogger to the fender flare is 10 inches. And ground to fender flare, we're at, what are we at? About 45 1/4. So I wonder if the other side's different just because this side isn't broken. Nope, it's the same. All right, So what I'm gonna do first, I think I'm just gonna get my breaker bar because I don't have any of those fancy power tools. I'm just gonna bust the nuts loose on the leaf spring and the U-bolt plate, and then just get them all loose, and then we'll jack it up. Try to leave the axle just sitting on the ground and get the truck up enough to get the springs off the axle. I've never really messed with leaf springs much on this. I've changed out the rear blocks, and I'm just gonna use the same process except take the whole spring out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, my U-bolts, I got a 22 millimeter. The rear shackle is a 21, and the front perch seems like a 24. They got about 10 layers of paint on them over the years. These have never been off. So the U-bolts have. They've just got put on there. But the other ones, factory leaf springs, 250,000 miles, and a lot of wear and tear. So I'm just gonna throw the breaker bar on all these and see if I can just bust them all loose, get them to spin around. And then we'll get the truck up on jack stands. Hopefully the axle will just sit on the ground and we can get the truck high enough to where the springs are off the axle. But should be easy at the 5-inch block, I would think. One day I'm gonna get a 1/2-inch Milwaukee Impact, and you guys aren't gonna have to watch me struggle. It's gonna be so nice. It's a little nerve-wracking being under the spring. I gotta bring you guys in here and show you this. I mean, that sucker looks like it's just gonna snap and take off my legs. But whatever. Alright, I wanna show you guys this real quick. This is what we're supposed to have. Obviously wraps around the bolt. I got all these, all 4, 2 on each side. The nut all the way backed out. I'm just gonna leave the bolt in, obviously. I can get the truck jacked up. Those are loose. Try to get the block out of there and that bottom plate. That bottom plate there is what I want to get powder coated along with the block. But what I got on here for, this is what we're supposed to have. Look at this other side. Exhaust work coming soon. Look at that. That's crazy. Look at all the rust under my fender flares up there. Yeah, you guys think this truck's clean. Whatever, I'll expose myself. Yeah, that's smoked. Alright, let me get the axle unbolted and get the truck up and supported. And then I don't know if we'll get these out tonight. Might wait till tomorrow and then wait for the new parts. I want to get, once these springs are out too, obviously I want to paint all in there and stuff, and then later on paint the whole frame again, but it's holding up good, honestly. Not too bad. On tonight's episode of Captain Sketchy Pants, we have wood. It's doing great. Pulled the block out over there. Ran out of wood, flipped my hammer upside down. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that block out of there. Believe it or not, this is working great after you tighten the jack up. Watch this, ready? Aha! See, block was stuck. So essentially what was going on is I have jack stands, the jack, obviously nothing reaches, the truck's pretty tall. So I can't even get jack stands on the frame. So now what I've done, I've pulled the entire 5-inch lift block, the U-bolts, I got all that out of the way. So essentially now I can lower the truck down to a safer height, because I'm gonna have to beat on these bolts to get them out, I'm sure. And I don't want to be underneath there with this. So now I can lower the truck down and actually put the front of the frame on jack stands while still leaving a gap between the spring and the axle, so I can wrestle those out of there. So it looks sketchy, but technically I think it worked. So I'm gonna lower this down a little bit, get it to a safer height, and then call it for the night. I just realized something even funnier. The center bolt on both leaf packs is broken. I was thinking to myself, man, why did they split open like that? Yeah, the center bolt snapped. Wow, yeah, I'm really glad I'm changing. This is gonna change the whole truck. This thing was, no wonder it was just riding terrible and couldn't haul any weight, and yeah, it was on the overloads all the time too. I'm excited. All right, I got it to a lower height. I'm done for the night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, boys, now I got the truck up on jack stands here, and I just wanted to show you guys. I just kind of tapped this with the hammer. The springs are loose in here, and that, I mean, now that the weight of the truck is off the ground, these are just falling out. It's crazy. I towed home 2 trucks with, or more. I really don't know when this happened, but I towed a lot with that. like that. So really glad we're getting this done. All right, boys, well, I picked up the springs today. Look at that, gorgeous. They're looking beautiful. They lost the sunlight, but they still look really nice. Here's the blocks. These were incredibly rusty when I sent them, so they're not smooth, but they look nice. And then in here, got the axle plates. Super, super nice. And all the little shims that go between the springs. The springs look absolutely killer. I wish that the sun was blasting on them right now so you could see the color, but yeah. So I'm gonna get all these unloaded in there because I got to put them all together still, and then we have to get the old ones off the truck still. But these are back, so now I'm more motivated to actually get those old ones off and stuff. So I'm gonna get these unloaded, and then I will pick back up the camera. By the way, I don't know if I ever said it, but this color is it's from Prismatic Powders, and it's Illusion Cherry is what it's called. So it's like a clear base over a super flaky red. You can't even tell because super flaky red. That's what's on the front suspension of the truck, so these should match perfect. All right, boys, well, now that the new springs are back, I have to get these old ones out. I wanted it like ready, but they are, yeah, I've been busy and they won't come out. So we're gonna grab the old Sawzall and we're gonna go ahead and cut all of these bolts right on each side of the bushing there to just get them the heck out of our way and out of the truck, and then I will go buy new bolts. One plus to that is now I don't have to drop the gas tank because I'm just gonna cut the head of the bolt off. So, I mean, I guess it's not that bad. And I already got the hitch off, so whatever. Yeah, gonna do that, and it's gonna get noisy and messy, and I'm just not even gonna record, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut these bolts out and attempt to get these old springs out. All right, we got one cut. We have movement, and the other one is the spring that was broken on the other end. So this thing should be ready to come out. I gotta figure out the best way to get it out of here because I didn't take the wheels off. I didn't think I had to, but maybe I was supposed to. Sure, they're heavy. Junk. Well, there is the top half of the bolt. With those out of the way, I kind of see how much room there is to like four-link it with bags. But since I put new springs in it, that probably won't happen in this truck, at least for like 5 more years. All right, so I do still have to cut the bushing out of this one. I'm gonna try to get the bolt out on that before I waste Sawzall blades. But because of this is where it broke. So the bushing and the rest of that is still in there. I can't just throw the new spring in. And then I got the other side. We're not gonna drop the gas tank. We're gonna try to just cut that bolt. Just because I have to cut the other ones, why not cut that one? That was I thought they'd all come out. They seemed like they would, but I should have known. So yeah, 250,000 miles in the Midwest will cause you some issues. So, all right, I'm gonna knock out the rest of these and get these shackle areas painted up good on the inside, and then get the new ones ready. All right, so I already got one leaf pack assembled. I just want to show you guys real quick on this one how to do it. It's pretty easy, but just so you can see putting them together, I gotta decide which side I want facing out. On the overload spring, he didn't do it very thick, I can tell, so in some light it looks kind of pink, but luckily this side looks good on this one. The other one had a side, so I kind of just went with that. So the rest look great though. Put the bolt flat through there. He did all these pieces for me too, which is super cool. Drop that on, and then we gotta put these together. I'm gonna figure out already. I bought new ones because the old ones did kind of break when I took them out. Kind of just evenly press those in, and then I found just smacking them gets because the powder made the hole a little smaller, obviously. All right, that's flush. Grab one for this side. Try your best and then hit it. We got these, which are still in good shape from the when I took springs apart. Slide them in, they kind of click into place, really easy. I couldn't find new ones of these, so these are like an isolator and are really not that important, I don't think. This one's broken. Yeah, this one's full-blown broken. Well, that's fine. They don't really matter, I only broke one of them. Hopefully you just don't see it. Got those on. Go ahead and set this one on top. Repeat the process, pushing these in on the next spring. Another separator. Kind of work this through and then set it on the bolt. And then grab your last one. I gotta look which way is the outside of the bushing. Same thing on that. I won't worry anymore. Another one of these. Put that spring on. Boom, boom, tighten the nut. Really simple. I just put my knees on it and held it down. Everyone else is using clamps, but it was pretty easy. Then we'll put it in the vise and we'll just kind of smash those together with a board so we don't scratch the powder. And they're assembled. I'll tighten this nut up with a wrench and easy as that. If there's one piece of advice you guys ever take from me, just buy a rust-free truck from down south. I've been cutting for days. Finally got this side out. I got this spring out quicker because the one was broken. So I have some paint on there. I cleaned them up best I could. Truck's rusty, not perfect. But make it look as good as we can, protect it. I cleaned up all this. Painted that. I'm gonna pull the bed again and paint the frame, which I did back in like 2020. But I'm not gonna do that now. I'm just painting where the springs are gonna be so that part's done. When we do the rest of the frame, I'll tape them off and all that. I should do it at once, but I'm already like weeks deep into this. So this is out. Gotta clean that one up and paint it. And finish, I just did that because I'm trying to not pull the tank. So just gotta beat that thing out of there. And then let the paint dry and put our new springs in. Woo, we're getting there. Today, it'll be done today, so. All right, well, I got everything snugged up under here. U-bolts are pretty tight, and the bolts back there on the shackle and up front are by hand tight, but I wanna get the wheels in the truck and actually get the weight on it and snug it up. I mean, that's how you do control arms and stuff. I figured it's probably better on the bushings to tighten them up when they're at ride height. And also, I've been putting off putting these on for a really long time now, since, well, the truck's been parked in here since it's been nice out. So what better time than to throw those on? So we're gonna put the 24s on the truck, set it on the ground, and then snug everything up. But here's a little look real quick before we put the wheel on. There's not really much to see, it's just pretty simple, but looks awesome. I'm so excited to see how this thing rides. It's got one extra spring on it, which I don't know if that's gonna make a difference or not, but also it's not all blown out. So the shocks are still blown out though. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and throw those on, and then we'll get the hitch back on too. Got the receiver, I almost forgot about that. That's laying over there. Gotta get that on. I don't know if we'll do that tonight or just wait till tomorrow. But yeah, we gotta get it on the ground tonight and probably outside, so. All right, excuse the fact that I'm disgusting. I know, been here like 10 hours. First impressions, I just dropped the jack. The truck's like massive. Like it's been on those jack stands for about a month now, but it wasn't that big. It's like, I'm 6'3", I'm like, this is way bigger. I think I took measurements earlier in the video, before, my camera dirty? Hold on. Better? Okay. Yeah, also, my spiked lug nut socket, gone with the wind. No clue where that's at. So I got to order one or find a friend with one. So those can't go on, which I can go home earlier now, which is killer. But look at the tires were about an inch, I think, from the from the wheel wells before, and they were also not centered, so they're already centered. I'm sure the springs will settle, probably. But those were, what I'm getting at is those were really blown out. I knew they were blown out, but dude, this thing's, it's really big. So I did the lift kit up front. This had a body lift and torsion keys on it for a really long time. And I did the, it was from a junkyard, it's either 4 or 6 inch rough country. And I'm like, I just couldn't get, my truck wasn't tall. I'm parking next to my friend's trucks that have the same lift kit on them, and they're huge, they're towering over me. And so I had the 5-inch lift block in there, which comes factory with, that's what comes with the rough country lift. And this thing was still super short compared to everyone else's. And I think it was just a spring. I mean, it's really big. It still looks level from here. I don't know. It looks like it's sitting level. I'll have to drive it a little bit, and we'll have to get outside and really look at it. But yeah, you can't really tell anything with the rock lights on. But, and with these wheels, I mean, you can't really see the leaf springs with these wheels. You kind of can, but with the, ow, Jesus. With the body lift, you can really see them. I just almost destroyed that mirror. That hurt really bad. Oh my God. All right, got everything tight, got the wheels torqued, got the hitch back on. May have broke my hand, but I got the hitch back on. The truck has not run in probably 3-4 weeks, about a month. And we're inside, so it's gonna be stupid loud. So random cold start video, not cold, but random, it's gonna be loud. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Wish the truck was clean. Well guys, there is the finished product. I actually went ahead and slapped the wheels on today because I was wearing out the boggers because now it's nice out and they just, you know, I don't want to buy a new set of them. So got the wheels on, shows off way more of the powder, obviously, because these are only 33s and they're sticking out a mile from the truck. And I didn't really wash it good, but I did spray it off, so you can kind of see the powder up front. With the wheels, with these wheels, you can see everything way better. But antenna, all the front suspension, and then the leaves really stick out. I actually can't believe how visible they are. But that is partially because the rear of the truck, it looks way higher. When I first pulled the truck outside, I was actually really bummed because it was like 2 inches higher in the back, just using a tape measure off the tire. But since then, it's probably been about a week since I finished it. I've pulled 2 different boats around for a while, and then I actually left it for 2 nights hooked to my 4,000-pound boat, just to help the springs settle faster, because I didn't want to go and change blocks around and all that before they fully settled. So still has the 3-inch block in there, and according to the tape measure, it is 13 inches tire defender front and back, which kind of hard to believe because I'll walk over there and show you guys in a second, but it looks raked out to me. But I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I always like this truck, and I think just this, like GMT 800s in general, I think they need to be like an inch higher in the front to look level. So some people say it's leaning or squatted. Honestly, I think it looks level, but right now it looks like it's leaning forward. So I'm gonna let it settle a little more. I do have a 1 3/4, it's supposed to be 2 probably, inch block that I grabbed from a buddy that he had laying around. Obviously it's not powdered, but I think I might end up putting that in, but so that'll technically put it about an inch higher in the front, and then I can always turn the keys down because it's these tires. I mean, it looks like I could fit 35s, so I'm not against lowering it, but everything looks awesome. I need to actually wipe down the diff cover and all the front powder, but paint it up. The shackles, they look great. Need to paint the rest of the frame. But let's walk over here and you can see this is a very big downhill. I just backed in here, but no, I guess on camera it does look level. I just need bigger tires or to bring the truck down. I think I'm gonna put a smaller block in the back and lower the keys a little bit. Because it just looks higher back there. But kicker bars, if they were wiped down, they'd be shining. The new powder is what's so shiny because it hasn't gotten road grime yet, but things looks killer. I'm excited. And then the part that you're probably all watching this for, these springs ride great. So these are the Dorman. I think I told you guys there's the 1500 replacements, and then there's the 2500, and then there's the HDs. And it's not for a 1500 HD, it's the 1500 springs plus one more spring. So my stock springs had 2 right here. These obviously have 3, and then the overload. So it was supposed to raise the truck like 2 inches. I think it raised it like 3. And these not being, my other springs literally went like this. They were a complete W. You saw how bad they were. I made sure I got plenty of video of that. The pin's broken, everything. The spring was broken. So these ride a million times better. Pulled a 4,000 pound wake boat like it wasn't even back there. The truck didn't even squat. And I mean, I'm driving this thing when it was on the bloggers. I was driving it like a pre-runner, hitting all the bad railroad tracks in town, and it's just like, it just floats. It's so much better. I can't even describe it. I know the springs were bad on this truck, but I mean, either way, these springs ride really, really good. And also, before I forget, I do have a 3-inch body lift. That's why you see so much spring, and that's why I went through the time to do it, because they hang down really low because the body of the truck is so high. So if you're gonna powder your leaves and you're like, why don't you see them? That's probably why, because you don't have a body lift. Don't get a body lift, they suck. That's basically gonna do it for the video, guys. I just wanted to show you with the wheels on and the springs fully done, how great it looks, and give you a little review of how it drives. I just love that. I need to wipe that diff cover out. This looks sweet. Very, very, very happy with how it turned out. I'm probably gonna give like a long-term review because these are just Dorman O'Reilly springs. Hopefully they last, and hopefully the powder doesn't. I don't know how the powder is gonna hold up on leaves, because like on springs, people do it all the time, but you'd think with all the movement, especially I'm gonna tow trailers all the time, they're moving a lot, so I don't want the powder to crack. I don't know, we'll see how that goes. I'll do like a long time review. But if you tow a lot and you need to change your springs anyways, don't wait as long as I did till they're actually broken. But I would totally recommend these because, I mean, the payload's like way better, and it drives better because the springs aren't broken. So, but I'll stop rambling. That's gonna do it for the video, guys. These look killer. Please comment below what you think of that. Do you like is it too much red powder now? I think I still need track bars, but with the blue, I don't know. I think it's sick. Illusion Cherry, if you're wondering, if I didn't say it already. But comment below what you think of the powder coat on the springs, mainly how's the truck look, and also that's it, I guess. Just tell me what you guys think. How's it look? And if you need springs, get the HD ones because they're better. But that's gonna do it for the video. Check out all the other videos on this truck and the other truck on my channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.